What's going on, y'all? We got another episode of Real Raw Exchange Podcast. My name is Frank, and can I get my co-hosts to introduce themselves?
Hey, this is Nat.
All right.
Hi, this is Kyra.
All right. So, the episode for this week, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of delve into a meme that Nat sent me. And I think the meme is going to, reinforce an interesting conversation. So the topic for this week, and I've, kind of wrote it down when it comes down to the topic. The topic for this week is going to be called The Cheating and Love Cocktail. Who's tasted this mixture? Okay? The Cheating and Love Cocktail. Who's tasted this mixture? So, Nat, sometime, as a matter of fact, it was yesterday. Nat sometime yesterday, sent this pic of this meme on, someone's page. When it comes down to the meme says, or, the text in the meme says, you can cheat on someone and still love them. So stop saying if you loved me, you wouldn't cheat. Sex requires no love, only genitals. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. When I first read this, I immediately thought of the baseline differences in society of how men are seen when it comes down to the aspect of cheating or even adultery, and then how women are seen when it comes down to the aspect of cheating or adultery. Okay? Where, for me, it's commonplace for most people to say, well, men naturally cheat. They naturally cheat because of their testosterone, the high levels of testosterone in them, of course, at a certain age, especially, within their 20s. And, wanting to, essentially, which oftentimes in society, men are groomed to, think this way, being able to, quote, unquote, soil their royal oats, if I could say that. Or I would even go as far as saying, be able to, this is going to be messed up, be able to pass on the baby gravy as much as they can to whoever they can with, So, yeah, that does happen. You do have a good amount of men that have this mindset of, wanting to, be able to, have as much sex as they possibly can. And then, of course, when it comes down to having sex with as many people as you can, oftentimes that can be very problematic for a man, or problematic for a young man who doesn't understand, the value of their seed, So now let's take it in the aspect of being in a relationship. Now you with someone, what I'm saying, y'all hit it off, y'all together. Let's give it 3 months. Let's give it 3 months. Y'all together for 3 months, what I'm saying, y'all may, have a consistent, dating schedule, or the dating is spur of the moment, because spur of the moment more so taps into the aspect of romance when it comes down to being, sporadic. But somewhere along the line, let's just say one of the people in that relationship is not getting fulfilled to the level that they need to get fulfilled. Okay? Let's just say that it's that man in that relationship that is not getting fulfilled how they should get fulfilled by their woman, right? Now, a couple of things can happen. Couple of things. Couple, 3, maybe. One of the things that could happen is, the man is fed up with the relationship, he could just walk away from the relationship and then find somebody else new. That's one thing. Another thing can happen is, there could be a consistent toxicity within the relationship because, both of the partners are not able to communicate in a way where it reinforces, being able to, let your significant other know, hey, I feel like I need this. What do you think? Or what is your take on that? Being able to have a conversation within a relationship, right? Option three is, oh, I ain't getting what I'm getting. I ain't getting what I need from you, so I'm gonna go ahead and tap someone else or go somewhere else to be able to get what I need. But there are still good things that I'm gaining in the relationship, so I'm not going to do anything to completely cut off the relationship because of the benefits I'm already gaining in the relationship. But I'm still getting, a piece on the side in addition. You know what I'm saying? That can happen. Now, taking reference back to this meme, where I understand it from the scope of the genital piece. I understand it from the scope of the genital piece. But oftentimes, there is this immediate stereotype of, well, men, can naturally cheat and not have feelings. Or, love will not be there when it comes down to being able to cheat. But I don't necessarily believe it's only men. I believe women can do that too. However, when it comes down to the dynamics of men and women as far as emotions and logic, I will definitely say I do believe when men are more logical, they could just go ahead and, oh, look at that baby. They could just go ahead and be able to have sex with a woman, not get any feelings, and then still move on or still have love for the individual that they're already in a relationship with or already have some type of established union. But for women, emotionally, I believe that oftentimes when a woman ends up wanting to consummate or delve into tilapia and kielbasa politics in the bedroom, you know what I'm saying? When she want to do that, oftentimes she ends up gaining more of an attachment to the man that she ends up being with or whoever she ends up being with because of her emotional nature. What do y'all think?
I don't honestly think that it depends on how you want into the situation. Cause because just on a personal note, there is situations in my younger day when I was out here wilding out. It depends on how you enter that situation. Either you went in knowing that it is what it is and there's no attachment, or it was an unknown situation and unfortunately attachment can be formed. Like it just depends on how you enter in the situation. It's not like an automatic thing.
Okay. Depends on how you enter the situation. So, with saying that, are you kind of pinpointing the aspect of in the very beginning, everyone disclosing what they need, from one another or what it is when it comes down to whatever situation that they're in, disclose it from the very beginning. And with that disclosure, all parties being able to actually, state if they want this or if they don't. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, you ain't even gotta disclose. It ain't even gotta be a mutual conversation. I mean, going in it, I'm not. If I know that that's not what I'm interested in, I'm just going in it knowing, okay, this is all it is. This is all it's ever going to be. Now, what the other party decides to do with their feelings is their own personal problem. But and I hate to make it sound that way, but in some situations, that's just how it happens.
Okay. Nat, you got some in mind when it comes down to this piece?
I did, but I think I lost track of thought because Lola was trying to grab my chicken salad. Can you repeat? I'm trying to protect my chicken salad over here.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
Okay. So I think I missed half the question because I was going to jump in on something else you said about the piece where the woman becomes attached.
Yeah,
And then
more
I heard
often,
Kyra say something.
than not, based on the emotionalism of a woman naturally, more often than not. Not saying that there are exceptions to a rule, because there are a lot of exceptions to a rule, right? But more often than not, a woman, delving, into multiple dynamics when it comes down to other partners, oftentimes her attachment becomes more paramount, and she's more so delving or being with someone else, cheating or committing adultery, being with someone else in the scope of the new prospect or the new person that she probably wants to try to spend the rest of her life with, you know? And I think that happens more often than not because of the aspect of monogamy that is pushed within religion. You know what I mean? So that's what I was
Yeah.
insinuating. But what you think?
Okay, I get what you're saying. How can I say this? I think coming from my standpoint, I can't speak for all women, but coming from my standpoint, I don't think, while I get the whole attachment piece of when women can become attached in those type of situations,
Mm-hmm.
I do think it can go both ways, right?
Right.
I do think that men can also become attached.
Yes.
And in some situations, I think it depends on the person. Like, because you could be a person that um that doesn't that don't necessarily that does not necessarily know what they want,
Mm-hmm.
and because they don't know what they want, that's already like there's already uncertainty there. There's already instability there because you don't know. You don't know what you want.
Right.
So you're kind of like going with the flow in some sense. And then you meet this person and you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what you're looking for. You probably don't know much about this person because you don't know what to ask. Y'all end up, having having relations. And now you might or might not catch feelings for this person, or you might become attached to this person and not even know. Some people are attached to people and don't even know that they're attached to the person. Don't even know that they're attached to this person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I guess if statistics show that women are more prone to be attached after after having sexual intercourse with the man than men are, then I guess it's true. But I can easily see women not being being attached. I can see women just saying, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and do this with him, and I'll probably, probably won't talk to him the next day, right? Or probably or may friend zone him. The friend zone is real, y'all. The friend zone is,
True.
you know.
True. I think, in my personal opinion, okay, let me ask you a question, because it was a particular train of thought I have. So, do you believe that a woman can still friend zone a man even if that woman has sex with that man once?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't
Okay.
think there's any statute of limitations on friend zoning. Like, I can friend zone, I can be, matter of fact, okay, I can be your friend. Don't say, I can be your friend. I can move you in. You can live in the same house with me. We can do it every night or whatever we're doing. And I will still never consider you my man. Like, I know how that sounds, but you got women who I mean, that's a real thing.
I get
I'm
it.
not gonna consider you my man. Why?
I
Because
get
I've
it.
already compartmentalized you. You are just for this. I need you
Right.
just for this.
Right.
And you haven't really showed me anything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it would be a benefit to my future, to my to other aspects of my life. So why fix something that's not broken, right? You good at this.
Right.
So let's just stay right here and focus on this. And if you decide to meet somebody, look, no hard feelings. But statistics show that that's where women are, and that's where the sticky shit comes in, right? Because when that person meets somebody else, you may say you feel that way, but it's a whole different feeling or emotions involved when you actually see that person with somebody else. That is a game changer. To actually witness it and feel it is different. But realistically, like you can live with somebody, go shopping with them, talk to them on the phone, but have sex with them and you can meet their family, y'all. That don't mean you my boyfriend. Okay. This does not mean that you're my boyfriend. This means that you real cool. You're my friend. We're cool. But I am not gonna give parts of myself to you or to whatever relationship we've established, which is probably a sexual relationship that may have transitioned over into a friendship, but I'm not gonna consider you a candidate as my husband. Like, does that make sense? I'm not. I can't because I can't. I've already I've already put you in this zone, and it's not even friend zone. I mean, I guess you could say friend zone because they do end up being your friend.
Mm-hmm.
I do have that benefit attached to it. So, I mean, that can happen, but men do it all the time. Men do it all the time. And I think what this guy is saying, if we're staying on track, I think this guy is saying, just to bring it back in, what he's saying, I feel like makes a lot of sense. And there are a lot of women under him. I mean, this post, this post drew 2.6 thousand comments and 398 shares.
Yeah.
We're not talking about a celebrity. We're not talking about somebody, he's probably like a social media icon or whatever. But I mean, it's a very controversial subject. And I think that we don't talk about it enough, honestly. I'm like,
I believe I here's a funny thing. When I say that, more often than not, when I say more often than not, I'm also acknowledging there are always exceptions to a rule, Now, one of the things that I will say when it comes down to this modern era, I believe there is now like a pushback as far as the spectrum of ones that are more willing to cheat, that are, within a certain gender. You know what I'm saying? More willing. Or I would even go as far as saying more wanting to be with someone else while they are with someone that are fulfilling other needs that they are not gaining from the person that they just knocking boots with. You know what I mean?
go ahead, Kyra. I'm sorry.
Kyra,
You got something.
you got some, Kyra. Your facial expression
No,
is very.
I'm trying to process what was just said because I don't know. I feel like this generation is more open to the different types of relationships that are out now or that are more publicly known, like polyamory and all the other names that I can't think of right now.
All the poly side of the game stuff.
Yeah, all that. I think that this generation is more open to it and making it more aware and known about the community than any other generation at this time.
Yeah.
So that's where I kind of borderline, because a lot of people don't want to admit that they are into that type of relationship, and they might be lying to themselves and in denial, and that's the type of relationship they probably need to be in, actually.
It is. I bet you almost 90% of people, not even Americans, of people, period, need to be in that type of relationship.
Often, I would even go as far as saying, often you have a lot of people that have been discouraged or trained to not go for what naturally gets them off.
I agree with that
Every sense of the word. Hey, get them off. That term. You know what I'm saying? And that happens. Well, I believe it happens. It definitely happens for various reasons. You know what I'm saying? It definitely happens for various reasons. I think foundationally, everyone at a young age is groomed to be monogamous. I believe, and I would even go as far as saying this, I believe the dynamic of religion in the scope of how most people see relationships and how they should play themselves out. I believe with that happening, it really just reinforced, and it's going to be controversial for me to say this. It just reinforced a sense of people just not having children or not having as many children. You know, population control. But also, people are still going out of a relationship and inevitably having babies with somebody else that they did not, or they're not, you know, like they're going somewhere else, having a baby with somebody else, and then they're still in a committed relationship that is monogamous with one other person. You know what I mean? So it's like, what did you want in the first place? Or are you going to just figure it out, pretty much like most of us end up figuring it out, right? Because oftentimes sex is a taboo topic. And, you know, when it comes to sex, more so, we are introduced to the concept by way of surprise, or we're introduced to the concept by way of exposure to something that probably we shouldn't have seen. I'll give you a prime example, you know, pornography. You know what I'm saying?
Not
Like,
even pornography.
what?
When I was a kid, they used to have, we had HBO and Showtime, right? And after a certain time, right?
Facts!
Yes, we all were exposed to real
Showtime,
Yeah.
Showtime especially.
And Stars. Don't forget
Oh,
about
stop!
Stars.
Yeah.
And Stars. They would have like this, I guess you want to say after dark special, whatever. So the first time I saw that, I was like,
or specifically.
but we thought it was funny. Like, it was me, my cousin. It wasn't just me watching. It was me, my cousin.
It'd be like.
No, we would do it on purpose. Like, we would try to put our parents to sleep, y'all. Like,
Right.
come on, it's gonna come.
Or it'd be at like 1 a.m. You got that softcore porn, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Because
the softcore
softcore porn, that was
was
showtime after 1 a.m. Okay? That was showtime after, how do I know? Because I looked at it. Nevertheless, that was showtime after 1 a.m. back in the day when it came down to, you know, the actual cable, when it came down to coax cable that you put in the back of the TV. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Listen.
where it was like, okay, you getting a sense of, you know, what to do, but you like, you like 11, 12. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, 9, 10. You know, you watching this stuff and you watching it like super early in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And you're trying to get a sense of, are they really enjoying it? You know what I'm saying? But you don't see, you know, tilapia or kielbasa. You don't see that. All you see is
because it's soft porn. So now
at most you'll see
the
nipples
titties and the tatas, okay?
Yeah,
You
you'll
saw
see
tatas
nipples.
and
You know what I'm saying? You'll see some breasts, but you ain't gonna see the rest of it. But it's like, oh well, you thinking, okay, this is what it is, and then when you get older, you actually see some hardcore porn, and then you're like, okay, this is the next level. And then based on what you probably end up seeing and becoming aroused by, you know, that's what you're gonna more than likely gravitate to. You know? Like, and you know what? I'm gonna say, I don't care. I'm gonna say it. My very first forms of pornography.
Was a book?
No, hear me out.
I can tell you what that was.
Hear me out. My very first forms of pornography were Jet Magazine Beauty of the Week.
I got one better. My first one was, I got two. One was, I used to go to my neighbor's house to use her bathroom.
Okay.
And one day, she didn't have no more tissue. The tissue, the spare tissue, I was looking around trying to find tissue, went in the cabinet, in the cabinet. The cabinet with tissue.
Okay.
I go to reach for tissue, and it was this book because I was going number 2, y'all. So I needed something.
Right.
I had some time.
Mm-hmm.
I opened this book. Why open this book? I opened this book. But here's the thing. I opened this book. It was a regular book.
Okay.
Inside of that book was the porn book. I forget what it was, but it was I don't know if it was.
Maybe it was a Playgirl. Maybe Playgirl. You know what I'm saying? If you saw, obviously men.
These were the
maybe.
And I was like, I had never seen a like male genitalia. I had never seen the full. I mean, I had seen the full woman anatomy because I had seen my mom, but not everybody's. Everybody's don't look the same. Okay, and most importantly, I had never seen them intertwined. Okay, so this is the first time I saw it, and I was like, oh my God, what's going on? I locked that bathroom door. And I was like, I'm flipping, but that was my first time seeing it. And then I hadn't seen it again since then. And then I went in the bath. All this happened in the bathroom. I went in the bathroom again I'm not gonna say this, but it was at a family member's house. And they had a TV in their bathroom.
Okay.
And the TV had a VHS
tape.
And the TV was off. The TV was off. But the remote was right there. Hey, let me tell you something. I saw on the VHS player this little light, like it was on. I said, why is this on? Is there something on here? Girl, I put that thing on. Oh, hell, on the TV. With sound and all. By this time I'm nervous, I'm trying to get it to turn down. I'm trying to turn the whole shit off, but I can't get it off. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get drunk. But I didn't get in trouble. But you're right, kids are introduced to sex. To what soft porn, because sex is everywhere. Sex is at school. Yeah. And then you got kids at school. I don't know how parents, I can't even question or anything about how parents parent on the topic of sex to their kids. I think it's a subject that some of us, at least those of us who probably don't have kids, should probably stay away from sometimes. And I say that because it's hard. Because if y'all were like me, I went to school and I had an idea of what sex was before my mother even, kind of told me about it. I didn't know all the ins and outs of it, but I had some idea. Why? Because I had this little boy named Reginald May, not our Reginald May.
Okay. Oh,
it was another boy named Reginald. No, not him. Not the one that not you. I love you. Yeah. But it was another little boy. It was a light-skinned boy named Reginald May in first grade. I know. First grade. Told me to look underneath the desk while I'm paying attention to the teacher. What my dumb ass do? I look underneath the desk. He has out himself, and I said, "Oh my God." I didn't know what to do. I never seen that thing before. I almost fell over the table. And kids see, and then some kids walk in on their parents.
Yeah, that too.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I've done it. I walked in. It's not a good sight to see. Depending on which angle you're looking at when you first see it. Okay.
Luckily, I never, was privy to walking in on adults in my family, doing the, passing legislation. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, I never did that. However, when it came down to seeing cousins and one of my sisters all together collectively watching a pornographic movie, and I walk in and it's on, and they're sitting there watching it all together. That's what happened to me. In addition to the fact that, as early as I could possibly remember, for me, y'all know the movie Coffee with Pam Grier. So they had for made daytime TV version of it, and my grandmother had it on. And when it came down to Pam Grier, you know what I'm saying? Like, all I'm saying is that's probably the first time that the kielbasa was throbbing. That's all I'm saying. You
A
know what I'm
lot
saying?
of men love Pam Grier, right? Because so you had Pam Grier, you had um the Vanity girl, I forgot her name. You had all these women
Yeah.
who are basically had these roles on television.
Television, movies, black exploitation.
Yeah, and
You know what I'm saying?
movies.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you end up becoming, privy to things that probably can reinforce the activity in your brain to be able to act out what you want to do. You know what I'm saying?
But and that was back then, Frank. Think about now, these kids now. They don't even it is no imagination. It is no, well, what does this happen? Or, how does she look underneath her clothes? You don't even gotta
Access.
think about that. It's right on TV. It's right on music videos. When music videos was out and big when I was like a teenager,
Yeah.
like that was a big thing because we would watch like
Music
MTV
videos.
and right, like they would
That was
come
the
on, like
first
that was a
first
thing.
time I really
They
saw
were
twerking.
they were no clothes on,
You know what I'm saying? Like the
but
song by Cisco, was it the thong. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like
Yeah, the
if we could
thong
remember,
thong.
yeah, like that was my first exposure to like, okay. And then you get older, you know what I'm saying? And then things like this, it's crazy what you can do with this thing. You know what I'm saying?
It is. Yeah.
It's crazy what you can do with the thing. But then we have to talk about the culture that we are in now, and honestly, how I would even go as far as saying it kind of reinforces getting what you want. No shame, no repercussions, but getting what you want. I mean, you will be shamed, you know. In addition to being shamed, more so based on the gender you are. That's also another dynamic too. Because I know, and I'm gonna just put it in this perspective. I know if I'm with someone else, I'm in a monogamous relationship with another woman or with a woman, and I end up wanting to be with another woman without telling who I'm with that I want to, step outside and do what I want to do with her, that's cheating. I will be more ostracized in society than someone who more so would probably be cheating because they got cheated on or they are not happy within the dynamic of the relationship. You know? But we also have to
Right.
talk about all who aren't happy. But then also, we also have to talk about how often do people disclose the fact that they're not happy or disclose what they actually need. You know what I'm
They
saying?
don't. People don't disclose what they actually need. I mean, I don't think so.
They, they
At least by the time they do, it's too late, and the other person has already felt how they
foundationally,
feel about this. Yeah.
they see you only in a certain particular way. You know what I'm saying? There have been things that I've told my wife that I won't disclose here, but there are things that I've told my wife, you know what I'm saying, that I know she knows me. She knows me, you know what I'm saying, and things that she has told me that I know her, and we know one another, you know, where you got a lot of people on this earth who don't really know themselves, not fully, or at least not yet. And of course, the younger you are, the more things you don't know. But then as you get older, you know what I'm saying, discovery, figuring out things, so on and so forth, you end up finding out what you really like. And maybe you don't just like being with one person. You want to be with multiple people. You know? A lot of people will even go as far as saying that's more natural than, being in a monogamous relationship. But that is a big argument. Because a lot of people genuinely believe the poly side of the game is inevitably cheating. You know, a lot of people believe that. The poly side is just cheating across the board. You know, where I believe if you delve into being with somebody else and you have decided to be in a monogamous committed relationship with someone else, but you end up going to find what you're not gaining from the other person without letting them know. I believe, and I'm going to put it in this perspective, I believe you're putting the person that you have committed to in a monogamous relationship in danger, because now it becomes about safety and health. I look at it like that. I look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? But here's the funny thing. If the other person, you have let them know certain things that they have been doing, or you let them know what you are needing, and they don't want to deliver, let's just say because, well, I don't do that, that's not what I do. Well, motherfucker, can you kind of change it up a little bit? You know what I'm saying? Let's put it in perspective, right? I can understand someone saying, well, you know, fuck it. I like to I like to get my balls licked. You know what I'm saying? I like to get my balls licked. I like, you know, when you take the tongue, you know, slide it between the balls and everything, and you know, try to make them go click clack like some click clacks. You know what I'm saying? I like it when you do that. You know? But then you got someone that is more so only willing to go down the shaft properly, but they're not willing to lick balls. Well, have you tried licking balls before? You know? How do you know you ain't gonna like it if you never tried it? You know what I'm saying? But then it comes to the dynamic of someone starting to do something, but then because they didn't want to do it, they try to do it in the worst way, so you now don't ask for it again. But then more than likely they are opening the door for you going to get somebody else to go ahead do the click clack side of the game. What y'all think?
So I think when somebody intentionally tries to be really bad at something that you want them to do and you experience with you, that person is not committed to that relationship. Really, they're not in that relationship to be committed to you, because if that person, okay, it might not be something I want to do now, but I can grow to wanting to do it. And I can go from my personal experience. I can't give detail, but it took time for my significant other to get to want to do a specific thing that I enjoy doing. It took a quite amount of large amount of time, but we eventually got there. Okay. We got there. Praise the God.
Hey,
we got there. But
hallelujah.
Yes, hallelujah.
Facts.
Okay. We got there. It just took time for my significant other to get comfortable with that. So that just shows that there's a commitment there. They're aware of something that you like. It's going to take me a minute to get there. I'm not there right now, but if you stick with me through it, I can get there. Now, if you just purposely do something horrible to try to turn the person off of that just, to me, shows that you're not committed to wanting to grow within that relationship to make your significant other happy. So, yeah.
I'm gonna just say this, like, and often people will say, you know, making your significant other happy. I don't necessarily believe that you can make anyone happy. I believe that you can add to someone's happiness that they already foundationally have. They have to have a certain foundation of happiness before they get into any type of commitment with anyone, be it monogamy or polyamory, polygyny, you know, any of that. Polygamy, any of that. Right? They have to have a certain foundation. You know what I'm saying? Even in the scope of poly, I look at poly as you have understood for yourself that you know for a fact you cannot find all particular features and traits only in one person. You know, you need to spread low and find them in different people. That's how I look at poly. You got one person that, let's talk about polygyny, right? A man has one wife, you know what I'm saying, that she throws down in the kitchen, you know what I'm saying, on the cook cleaning side of the game, she's, top notch. She does lay it down in the bedroom, but but
Her coochie snake?
she will not let the asshole get accessed. She won't. You know what I'm saying? Pun intended. When I came down to
so
saying
that is, I don't know, that particular event is a really sensitive situation, and that unfortunately either it's something you can participate in or it's absolute no.
Fair.
I don't think there's no midway with that one.
Well, it depends. It depends on the person.
We are all wired differently, and this is
it depends on the person, though. It depends on
but also looking at it from a health. So my degree is in science and healthcare.
Okay.
So everybody's wired differently, and that you might have irritable bowel syndrome. You might have other things that don't necessarily highly affect your everyday life.
Inevitably, you could get hepatitis.
But that can trigger some things that you don't want to happen.
Yeah, you can get, depending on how you do it, you can get hepatitis from it.
Right, yeah, you can. And then for some people, that they might not have the muscle control that's necessary for that, or there just be many different things that can add up to you not being able to do that physically.
Okay, then I'm just putting it out there as an example. You know what I'm saying? Put it out there as an example of what someone who has a lot of traits, qualities that said individual likes in their wife, but then they realize, oh, I think we should go polygyny or, poly. Okay. We both will decide on the sister wife we will bring in. That is exactly what polygyny is. I'm just saying.
Right, no, but my question, I got a question outside of that. Just a moment, bear with me. Why does it always have to be a sister wife? Why can't it be like a brother husband? What's going on?
That's polyamory, but I was saying polygyny. I was just using polygyny as an example.
Right,
but it can be the same dynamic too.
I know what you're saying, but it's always the sister wife. Why can't it be brother husband?
More motherfuckers out there. I'm just putting it in this perspective. More people out there, understand the whole aspect, which most cases, a lot of people don't necessarily agree with, because, well, why does a man have to have, multiple? It's women out there that don't have a problem with it. Nevertheless, let me go ahead and talk about polyamory then. Okay.
But that's like, can I just step in real quick?
Mm-hmm.
That's like, I was in a relationship one time with somebody long time ago, long time ago.
Right.
And one of the questions that came up in the relationship was a menage a trois. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so I entertained the conversation. And so he said, and this is something that he wanted to do. Mind you, we were in a relationship for a little over 2 years.
Okay.
I think that's a pretty long relationship, if you ask me.
Yeah.
So when he brought it to me, we did talk about it. And one of the questions that came up is kind of what Kyra said. When he said when he wanted to do a menage a trois, I said, well, what kind? I said, who's involved? And he said he wanted 2 women. And I said, well, first of all, I told him my views on it, and I said I wasn't comfortable with doing that. And so he was very persistent. You know, the persistent ones. Ladies, look out for the persistent one. They gonna get your ass. Get your ass. Anyway, that was for the ladies. That was for the ladies. I had to see that for the ladies. Anyway, um, if you tell a man, in some cases, not all men, not all of them, if you tell a man, okay, you know what, I may entertain the idea of having a menage a trois, but I don't want to have two women because I don't, for whatever reason, maybe she doesn't want to share, maybe she doesn't want to, whatever her reason is.
Yeah.
Can we do two men? Let me tell you something. Most men, at least in my situation, he was like, absolutely not. He did not. I didn't even entertain it. Whereas at least I heard him out on what he wanted to do. I tried to compromise and say, well, how would you feel if I said I might be up to it if we just switched the other woman out and added in a man? And he said he completely just shut it down. And so I understand what Kyra is saying because there are a lot of men, and I have met men that where that's their fantasy, right? Or some men just haven't done it yet, and they do want to do it. And one of my other questions for that is, I told him, I said, I tell you what, since it's something that you really, really want to do, and I said this to him, I said, you go do it. I said, I don't want to do that. That's not what I want to do, but you can go do it. And I didn't say it in like a spiteful way or a mean way, like you go do what the F you want. No, like this is something that you really want. I don't want to give it to you, but I don't want you to feel like you can't have it. So you go do it. He says to me, I don't want to do it with anybody else. I want to do it with you and somebody else. So then it's like,
Yeah.
and I've heard that a few times, right? But you don't want to compromise. I don't want to see another woman. I don't understand.
Let me interject
You know.
and kind of extend this whole dynamic. Okay? Let me interject. So, I believe one of the reasons why you have a good amount of men that have that fantasy as their ultimate is because of the aspect of trying to get more out of a relationship or a union with their woman because they want their woman to be more submissive. However, talking about the dynamic of compromise, right? Here's my thing. When you say to him, okay, which type? Oftentimes, most people only think of two types. They don't go in the details of the individuals as far as their sexual orientation. Hear me out. Where oftentimes it's, well, what type of menage a trois? A menage a trois, baseline level as far as the definition, it is, let's put it in this perspective. Baseline level definition, it's a man who is heterosexual, and it's two women who can either both be heterosexual or a mixture of other letters. Okay? Now, when the dynamic goes, well, can we flip the script? Okay, by definition, if it's a woman who is heterosexual and two men who are heterosexual, by definition, that is not a menage a trois. That is a train.
Let me tell you something. I ain't doing no trains, no cars.
But see,
I don't understand. But so why is it? But why is it two different? Why is it a different name for a woman though?
But I'm not saying. Hear me out. You also have to talk about the dynamic of the sexual orientation of the individuals that are involved. Where a menage a trois can be, put it in this perspective, a menage a trois can be a man who is bi, a man who is gay, and a woman who is heterosexual.
I see what you're saying. I mean, I get it. I just
I know, I understand what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? I'm saying menage a trois, but by definition, not unless they end up changing the definition. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying this in the scope of, trying to create controversy, maybe a little bit. But I am saying this.
No, I get what you're saying exactly.
Thinking about it, where it's like, oh.
No, I get what you're saying. It's just, why does it get labeled a different thing for women versus for men? Is what I'm saying.
We've always reframed or redefined or defined things as far as separation of gender. That's why. That's the baseline answer I could give. I'm not saying
I understand that. I guess it was rhetorical. Why?
Yeah.
But I'm just like, it's frustrating as to why. That it has to be named something different, and I guess that's why I was the way I was in my Wild 'N Out days, because I was like, I don't give a care what you say. I'm gonna be me, I'm gonna do me, and I'm gonna be flat, and I was. Yeah. So, and my guardian angel probably was on all types of drugs, because that particular part of my life was like, I don't know why I got assigned to you, but you know what, we gonna make it work. Okay. But that was a big fuel for me, because you are not going to put me in this box. And I was not going to conform.
Here's the thing, and that's what I'm talking about, the aspect of, the whole submissive piece, which goes back to another conversation that we had in the past as far as how the word submissive is seen, in addition to how the word in various ways can be exercised or applied. You know what I mean? So it's like, you want that because it was something that you saw, but then you don't understand contextually all the details that goes with trying to ask for something that inevitably someone has never experienced, and trying to convince them of something that you never had, that they've never done. Pin drop. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's like being able to have a sense of compromise in the scope of, okay, delving into more details of specifically how we could do this. How we could. Like, to give an example, let's just say, okay, there is I'll put it like this. There is a train, but you don't want a train, right? You can have a train, but you don't want a train. But then you want a menage a trois. And let's just say the straight man is willing to bring in a man who's bi. Let's just say, I'm getting into details on this. Let's just say, right? Now, with that said, does that straight man have to delve into the bi side of that bi man? No.
Not if he wants to be by me. Understand me?
But that also goes into the dynamic of, well, how does that heterosexual woman now sees that heterosexual man, if that heterosexual man is now willing to bring in a man who is bi? You see what I'm saying? But then it now goes into the scope of, okay, are we going to redefine what a train is? And not say train. Because I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I get it. I want to, in response to a lot of his stuff, because I know that we didn't kind of sparsed out.
Yeah, we really. Yeah, but go ahead.
But let me reel it back in. So he wrote, because he had a lot of comments on this, for those who are listening or whatever, he basically said, for anyone disagreeing with me, ask anyone who has ever cheated on a husband, wife, boyfriend, or girlfriend if they love the person they was with at the time. Case closed. You can love someone and not even like them. You can love someone and break up on Monday and fuck someone else Monday night and get back together on Tuesday and still love them. Let that sink in. Love ain't got shit to do with sex. It's better to just have sex with who you love, but that's it. You can get kidnapped and someone tie you up and play with your genitals, and you can't control your bodily functions. Does that mean you don't love who you with or even want the person doing it? Nope. You can love someone and not even be sexually attracted to them no more. So whatever argument you have, I've squashed it. Now stop there. But a lot of what he points Lola, he points he just started a whole bunch of shit with this whole thing. He really did. But
He
here's
knew
the
what he
thing,
was
I
doing.
think he stirred up I think he stirred up a lot of things, or he touched on a lot of things, in my opinion, to make sense that people are dealing with in relationships, whether or not they want to bring it to the surface or not. This is a you know what I mean? And I'm not saying I agree or disagree with him. I'm just saying that it's worth a discussion. That's all I'm saying.
Right, it's worth a discussion because I mean he says a lot, and so I mean there's a lot to unfold there in what he said, um, because I mean there's a lot in that, and a lot can happen. You can be yes, you know, and you can't control your bodily functions in that situation. So you have to live with that regret or remorse of whatever you've done in the moment. I'm not saying that yes, you have that, but there's a lot there.
I believe when someone has a stronger incentive to hold their sexual desire for someone else, they can do it. But I do believe when someone is not being satisfied with the person that they decide to be with or the people that they decided to be with, they will go somewhere else to be able to find and acquire what they need. They will do it. You know? Anyone has the ability to be able to hold their sexual desire. Anyone. I'll put it in this perspective. You got certain people around here, you know what I'm saying, that for the longest thought they were straight, but then end up going to LGBT side of the game. That's one perfect example. But then you also have people that were on the other side that decided, nah, I didn't want to do this for the rest of my life. Let me go ahead and end up getting married and start having kids. And they're happily married. So it's the spectrum of possibilities that can happen as far as someone not being happy goes back into paradox of choice. It does. Where what incentives, because everyone has incentives. Everyone needs something or wants something or will now see a particular title as being on another level, and that level, when it comes down to that title, has certain requirements. You know? Everyone does. And the people that say, no, I don't, they bullshit. All I'm saying is, everyone does. I do. Like, to give an example, in the scope of dating. At one time when I was dating, I would schedule my dates. But then you have a lot of women who honestly believe scheduling dates is not romantic. And they don't want to schedule a time to spend with you. Facts. I'm going to keep it a buck. At one time I was like, oh, so do you want to be on such day at this restaurant at this time?
But how else do you get out on the date if you don't set up a date in the town that you meet?
True. However, I get also I get also the dynamic of certain women. I would say, I would fuck it. I'm gonna go as far as saying a good amount of women. A good amount of women. I'll just say that. A good amount of women, more women often than not, will see a man trying to schedule a date as a form of controlling behavior. If you think about it, they'll see it as a form of controlling behavior. When in actuality, it's not that man is trying to control the behavior. That man is trying to maximize the amount of time he ends up spending with whoever he decides to spend with. Because for me, and I still see dating like this till this day, dating doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be exclusive with one individual person. Dating is you going to see the playing field when it comes down to the people that you're dating. And then if you decide to be exclusive with one particular person, that's when you'll make the decision to go ahead and not date other people because you're now exclusive to one individual based on you choosing to be monogamous. But you have people that don't agree with that. They agree with, if you're dating, you're only supposed to be dating one person at a time.
You know, I think that you're single until you're married. You're not married. That's about as single as you're gonna get. I don't know what to say about that. No, I get it all. I really do. I mean, I'm just saying. Now, I'm not saying that to say go out and wild out. And, you know, I think that after a time, because some people have been dating for 10 years. I don't know what the hell that's about.
But exclusively, they're exclusively with whoever they're with for 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So.
Right. And clearly they've already made their choice who they're going to spend their life with, but they have not entered into no binding contractual agreement to say that we are forever in each other's whatever.
Because a lot of people don't want the government in their union.
Yeah.
You know? And I totally get that. A lot of people don't want the government in their union because it's not beneficial for both parties in a marriage.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think...
Kyra, what you got to say? Yeah. What you got to say on that?
Let's back that up. They don't feel it's beneficial.
A lot of people do not feel that marriage, having a marriage contract in the United States, I'm not saying all, having a marriage contract in the United States is not beneficial for both parties in a marriage.
Okay, first of all, it is the most beneficial because if something happened to you and let's say you end up in the ICU unresponsive, no one besides your parents has the right to pull that plug or make a decision on if you get a transplant or not. It has to go through court. So you didn't die because you wait on a magistrate to make a decision on your life if they can't reach your parents or if your parents dead. Secondly, again, if you die, all your property then becomes the property of the state. If you ain't got no relatives that'll fight for it. So now you done lost your house, your car, everything you done worked hard for, your 401k, gone to the government. So actually, marriage is in the United States your best option because if you're not in a state that recognizes common marriage and you have kids with your common law significant other, they get nothing. It is a fight from the beginning to the end to get anything if you are not married. So that contract is highly, utterly, and if people kill me want to believe that, oh, you find everything will be all right, it'll get worked out. No, it works out to the government's advantage. It is a disadvantage to your family.
That's one way of seeing
it. That's all I got to say about that.
That's one way of seeing it.
Right, that's one way of seeing it.
That's one way of seeing it. I'm glad you spit those points. However, I believe those people that often will see, you know, it being a disadvantage for both parties in a marriage, those people inevitably have trust issues when it comes down to trusting another human being to the level of having someone in your life to that level of commitment as far as longevity and love and all the things that would make someone's marriage.
Like, okay, so, and again, back on that, I mean, I don't, it's just, when people make a type of point.
I think people make things complicated.
They do, and then they see other people, and when I mean other people, I mean people that are in the 1% population do something, they don't see the whole backstory behind that.
No, they don't.
Best example is Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. So they've never been married, never will get married because neither one of them believe in it. But guess what? They have a team of lawyers that have probably figured out everything for their children and their estates. They have accountants that's figured that out. They don't have to worry about the tax breaks and stuff you get for being married. So they have a team that's figured that out, and their kids are set for life because they set that up. Now, because you and me are average Joes out here in the streets, we ain't got a team of lawyers that's gonna break that down and set up the trust funds and everything that needs to be set up for our children and everything else.
Anyone can use anything under the sun as an excuse to cheat on someone. However, inevitably everyone has the natural disposition to want to have sex once they get of age and go through puberty. Agree, disagree, indifferent? Understand?
Anybody can make up an excuse. Yeah, at any point once you get to the age of whatever, any excuse.
Reasons.
I don't think that it's an excuse. I think
reasons and excuses are different, though.
I think that it's natural. Your body is going to want to. Here's how I think about it. Right? I have a friend. I'm not going to say what her name is, but I do have a friend. Can you real quick? I have a friend who is lesbian. Okay.
Okay.
And we've been friends for a long time. Anyway, she likes women, right? And then you could call her the I can't think of the correct terminology, but she's the masculine one in her relationships. Okay. And I'm not going to give any details, but she basically called me. No, she texted me and said, "Can we talk?" I said, "Sure." So we talked or whatever, and she was like, she said she had thought about for the first time, and she'd been gay all her life, okay? For the first time, she wanted to, she said she had been with all these girls, whatever, but she wanted to know she was feeling different or something. Something happened where she wasn't feeling satisfied. And my response to her was, "You probably don't want to hear this. I don't know if what I'm going to say is going to make, really make a big impact on how you feel, but you're a woman. And it's natural what you're feeling." I said, I don't know how else to say this besides you probably need to have insertion. And she was like, that's just not, it's natural. I told her, your body is designed, it was created for that, just for that. I said, so if you feel like there is something, she basically told me after she was in a relationship with a woman for a while. And she just basically said she's never satisfied. And I said, if you know somebody, okay, then have a conversation with that person and see where it goes, okay? Basically came back to me, and what I'm going to say right now is that I don't know if she bi or what, but she basically said that she said that she feels that she's never felt like that before. I was like, is she wrong? I was like, you need to have this in your life. I don't care I have been saying this, and I don't say it because some women, especially the ones who do live an alternative lifestyle, and especially the ones who consider themselves like the masculine one in those type of relationships, don't tell them to go have sex with no man. Don't tell them that because they don't feel like they need to. Biologically, sister, you do, okay? Because realistically, I don't care how many times you sit there and you play with that thing and you put those toys up in there. I don't care how many times you came from it. You better go get you some. That's what you better go do because it's not going to work all the time. It's just not going to work all the time. I don't know how I got on the subject. I forget exactly where I was going with it. But I think I was going. Somebody, one of y'all said something about something. I can't remember why I mentioned it, but um, excuses. I don't think it's an excuse. I think it's natural. It's natural. Like your body goes through changes. That's natural. After a certain age, you can. That's kind of like you could say, well, I'm starting to feel a certain way. You know, kids start to explore their body after a certain point because they're starting to feel things. They want to know where the feeling is coming from. Why am I feeling this way? What's happening? Why is this stuff growing? Make it stop, right? And you don't know what's going on, and you can't. It, sex in some cases is instinctual, like animals. Animals, you can teach a dog. You can say all dogs can swim, right? If you've never put your dog in water, they'll probably just be afraid of it, or they'll probably be like, "What the fuck is going on with this?" But eventually, they will learn to fucking dog. It is instinctual. They know they got to get their asses through that water. I put my bearded dragon in some water, and I held him up a few times, and then he started swimming. It is instinctual. Now it's life or death for them. He's like, do I just sit here and drown, or do I just try to just kind of, he started paddling his little feet, and I let him go. It is instinctual. I don't think it is, and I say instinctual because I don't condone cheating. But I don't believe, and this is my belief. This is not to say anybody else. I'm sure I will have a lot of people that would disagree with me. I don't think, and I don't need y'all, not Kyra and Frank, but whoever will be listening to this, don't come in my DM. Don't bother me. Go about your damn business. But I don't believe that cheating should be grounds for breakup the first time. I don't. I've always said that. I just don't think so. And I say that because it is, and I don't think it's right either. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying go out there and cheat on your spouse. I'm saying that, come on, like I'm not, and I don't believe that the person don't love you if they cheat on you. I never felt that way, but I do feel like what you were saying earlier, Frank, about you should be able to control your urges, especially if you said that you are in a committed relationship. At the least, the person should respect you enough to not do that, to control themselves. I don't believe that when people say, "Oh, you cheated on me," oh, it's over. Now, if they keep cheating, then they just fucked up. Okay, if they just cheated and they won't stop cheating, that's something that they just want. That I just think they just want to do. They just doing it.
My thing
they don't
is,
care about you. Consider at that point, it don't make no sense.
My thing is, when it comes down to the aspect of cheating, like, why? Why do you need to cheat? Especially if you're in a monogamous union.
I agree.
Let's ask why.
I even get.
But I believe oftentimes you have a lot of people that would just go straight to cheating versus exploring, having those difficult conversations about, let's just say, oh,
yeah,
can
we try something different?
Can we try something?
Yeah.
I would like to, let's just say if this was the woman, I would like to use your chest hairs as I would like to use your chest hairs as a means to rub this tilapia on so I could be able to cream all over your chest. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, I would like to be able to do, you know what? Can we introduce P? I think P would be a good thing because P is sterile. You know what I'm saying? It's sterile. You know? You know what I mean? Like, example.
Clara, you're making that face, but this is what people, and then, I don't know, man. It's crazy. I don't know what's going on. Ain't nobody feeling me. Okay, but this is a real. It's real.
It's real. It's real shit.
I asked that before. I was in a relationship one time where the guy. Not only this, I'll give y'all a tip. And what happened? He basically asked me if he could urinate on me. This is a true story. I told him, no, I'm not doing that. I took a shower. He got in the shower with me. And you know how sometimes you pee in the shower? You know, he peed on my leg in the shower. I got out the shower and I never talked to him again. But I also explained to him why. Because here's the thing, he understood that I didn't want to do that. But that was also an urge he had because he peed in the shower on me. Yo, you know, this happened. He peed on my leg in the shower. That is an urge he also can't control because he wanted to do it so bad that he in his mind, well, she won't let me do it in the bedroom. Then she's in the shower. You know, we already wet. I think that's what he was thinking. We already wet. I might as well go ahead and try my hand. Maybe softly introduce it to her while we're already wet. But when a person does not feel comfortable with something, myself in that situation, I'm not gonna feel comfortable with that. It's a hard pass. Okay, you got soft passes and you got hard ones. That one is a hard pass. It's a definite no. It's definitive. It's not gonna happen, right? So, but that told me, oh, this is something that he really wants to do. So much so that he totally just disregarded how I felt about it, and he went ahead and he did it anyway, right? With me, but something I didn't want to do. So it is conversations, some conversations that people need to have in their relationships about what they want to do and what they don't want to do. And some people, let's just say that some people don't feel comfortable going to this significant other and saying, hey, can we try, I don't know, other positions? A lot of people, a lot of couples may be still stuck in missionary. Some, maybe they want to try different things.
My thing,
they want to introduce toys. A lot of men don't like to use toys. You have women who do want to use toys because of various reasons, and that's a whole other thing. But you know what I mean?
I think that well, first we gotta wrap this up. But I think that there's too many people in this world that are not comfortable enough to just be themselves and be themselves in front of someone that should love them for who they are. But then if you're not really yourself, then who are you with? Who are you with?
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things that I've done in my past that I'm going to just say this. If I disclose those things right now, y'all be looking at me like, what the fuck is in his brain?
No, because everybody does nothing.
Everybody has something, but I'm one of the ones where you're going to be surprised at some of the shit that I've done in the past. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be surprised at because foundationally, y'all already understand my personality, foundationally. But also, I'm willing to say certain things out of my mouth that probably in most cases I've had conversations about. Probably in most cases I've had conversations about because I wouldn't be as willing to say certain things if I've never had a conversation about it.
Right, yeah.
If you think about it, you know what I'm saying? Like when it comes down to aspect of pee. Hey, like I said, it's sterile. And that's all I'm going to say. Okay? Nevertheless, everybody has what they have that gets them off. But then let's take it back to the whole aspect of cheating, right? And, we're going to wrap it up. Cheating is something that most people, I believe, do because they have an urge that hasn't been quenched by whoever they thought they could go to.
Yeah.
They have an urge where there's someone on the face of the earth that can quench that urge, quench that thirst.
Absolutely.
On the face of the earth. That person that might not be in your city. That person might not even be in your state. That person may not even be in your country. You know what I'm saying? But it's somebody on the face of the earth that's going to be like, I have no problem with,
Oh, I'll do that.
I have no
Yeah.
problem with doing that. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead, cut up a little bit of cucumber and have a cucumber salad with that kielbasa you got. You know, it's just about being your authentic self. It really is about being your authentic self. Being able to convey what you know you need. You know?
And I also think on the opposite end, it takes some openness. And it takes some
Openness and transparency.
yeah, it has to happen. And I think sometimes in a lot of situations, like what you're talking about is the person who doesn't want to engage in whatever that other person is trying to express to them that they need, that person I believe should have some type. This person has already come to you in a state, I think, of somewhat vulnerability and is expressing to you something that they really want, and they're sharing it with you, which means that they want to share the experience with you. They want to do that with you. So if your first answer is like no, it's kind of like okay. Then you've already kind of established it. I would say, come on, you have to have some openness or some type of I don't know how compromising are, but maybe if not, maybe find a way to, I don't know, think of an alternative for something
Shame,
that you do feel comfortable with.
shame in various forms only reinforces rebellion or anger.
Yeah.
Shame in many forms only reinforces rebellion or anger. And or anger, I would even say. Because the anger could also lead you to being able to rebel. And then you could also rebel and then exude a certain level of anger within your rebellion.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think that this was a good topic to kind of talk about.
All right. Well, I think I don't know if y'all got anything else to say. Nothing.
No, I'm in.
All right. Nothing. All right. Well, another episode of Raw Exchange Podcast. Y'all take it easy. Have a wonderful week. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.